Intel sources revealed to CNN News 18 that Lashkar has now opened a new front. Intel sources further tell us that huge number of Pakistani-trained foreign terrorists, of course, are in Poonch-Rajouri region. A few days back, Lashkar movement in the area was reported by the intelligence agencies. Let's take you through some more details which are emerging one by one. The inputs which we are picking up from our top sources. What is it that the top intelligence sources really revealed to CNN News 18 about what exactly is going to happen? Let me tell you about the Lashkar and how exactly it has opened up a new front and what is it that the intelligence agencies are indicating to us. Surankot, Poonch and Rajouri. These are typically the areas which are being targeted by Lashkar at this point in time. Cadre from Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and South Punjab in Pakistan. That's the cadre which is being deployed in this particular area. Lashkar has also sent battle-hardened terrorists in Kashmir, and battle-hardened terrorists are trained in Afghanistan right now. Cadre is involved in Taliban takeover which is being sent to Kashmir. Now, why is it that Rajouri and Poonch have been in spotlight of the terrorists? Why is it that these two particular areas have witnessed a spate of encounters, a spate of anti-terror operations which the defense forces had to carry out? Well, number one, as I argued earlier, the terrain is very, very difficult. It is also a hilly region, so the hideouts are an advantage for the terrorists. Dense forest acts as a natural hideout for most of these terrorists, and their dependency on the overground workers is significantly reduced. Jungles are interconnected and it also aids their entire escape process. So that's largely the reasons that we're really looking at. How and why has Lashkar really opened this new front, and what exactly is the plan of action from the side of the Indian security forces? Anand will tell us more about the story. Anand, why is it that Lashkar has targeted the Poonch and Rajouri area? In the last 1 year, we have seen a lot of encounter operations happening in this particular area.
See, there is a huge terrain difference between Kashmir, Jammu and also this entire Poonch-Rajouri area. Poonch-Rajouri area is forested area, but it does not receive heavy amount of snowfall. It has a thick jungle cover, so it is very different from the Kashmir area, which is largely valleys and open pine trees and gaps. And in the winters, it's uninhabitable. The villages or the houses are also sparse, so the terrorists cannot hide in different locations, and they have to move to a civilian area to be able to get shelter. And that's why the chances of them getting surrounded, cornered and cordoned and caught was higher. The Poonch-Rajouri area is twice the size of the Kashmir area itself. So, and it's quite spread out. And the jungles have lots of caves and lots of ability and flora and fauna for these, cadre to be able to survive there. The other aspect is that Lashkar is actually redirecting its idle-sitting, battle-hardened cadre, which has been sitting in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa area, twiddling their thumbs, doing nothing because of this entire strife in Afghanistan coming to an end. They were all being trained and they were being asked to fight on behalf of the Taliban or with the Taliban, etc. Now a lot of that cadre is sitting there which is battle hardened, which is very highly trained, and they have now been redirected towards this area and they have infiltrated over 6 to 8 months. And CNN News 18 is putting it out for the first time that they have shifted the terrain because for them survival in these jungles is better and there is a higher, greater possibility. And also for the troops, our troops, they are trained to handle conditions like Jammu, they are trained to handle conditions like Kashmir. The Poonch-Rajouri kind of systems have never been active like the way they have been active in the last 6-8 months. So this also means a training of sorts, a reworking of the training methods of sorts. But what we are sure is that these are battle-hardened terrorists and FTs, foreign terrorists, who have now infiltrated in this region and who are operating. And they have suffered reversals at the hands of our troops. Our para and our security personnel have inflicted heavy wounds on them. So somewhere there is also a certain level of retribution that when they get an opportunity, they strike. And this lot is quite brutal. So to bring them to account is far more necessary, and that's why perhaps we are also seeing a greater determination from our own forces that no matter what, they will not break the security cordon, and they're not going to call off combing and search operations so easily. It's sometimes the combing and search ops are running into days. One, because of the terrain. Two, because they are so battle hardened, these criminals, these foreign terrorists, that they need to be accounted for at the earliest. They can't be allowed to float around and wait to strike next, because what they will do is they'll lie low for 3-4 months in the jungle area among the civilian population and then come back and strike again, and that's something which we can ill afford.
Anand, I'm just going to zoom out a bit and talking about the overall security apparatus that the government of India has ensured ever since the special status was done away in Kashmir. There was a massive crackdown on the overground workers. The entire terror network that operated underground and overground were dismantled. And there were reports that now Jammu is going to be the target for various terrorists, like we are witnessing right now. It was also said that the Home Minister has a plan in place for the next few years to ensure that this terror network does not spread to regions like Jammu. Where exactly are we on that?
You see, Anusha, we got to understand the terrain very clearly. Although this all comes under the Jammu region, this is not Jammu in terms of topography.
Yeah.
Jammu and Kashmir have different topography compared to this entire Poonch-Rajouri area. And in Jammu and also in Kashmir, already the kind of security grid that is clamped, that has forced these criminals and these terrorists to move into a guerrilla warfare territory that looks at a different area or a terrain like Poonch-Rajouri.
Yeah.
Poonch-Rajouri is not something which is favorable for the light-hearted. It's not for the faint-hearted.
Sure.
These jungles are rough and tough, and there is a lot of flora and fauna, and it's not easy to survive. But survival is also possible here more than anywhere else, because there are caves which are deeply hidden. Arms caches can be stashed there and hidden there. You will find food, and more importantly, despite the winter months, there is not heavy snowfall there, and because of not heavy snowfall, they can still continue to survive in the jungles.
Okay.
So for them to just go into the civilized area, get provisions or whatever rations or basic supplies are concerned, and then go back into the jungle and live there is possible, which was not possible in areas like Jammu or areas like Kashmir, where they would have to move into a civilian area or a place that is inhabited, and that's where perhaps the intelligence would come into play and kick in. Here, for them to survive in the jungles is easier, and this is twice, like I said, twice the area of the 11 districts of Kashmir. The Poonch-Rajouri region is twice the area in terms of acreage, and that gives them more options to hide and also to play this entire guerrilla kind of a warfare technique that they are trying to use. And like I must tell you, they are battle-hardened criminals who were trained to fight the long wars on the western side of the Pakistani borders and in Afghanistan, in that area, and those are the terrorists that are being redirected here.